right, so we're going to start chapter 12 here. Oops. It's going to be continuing on our geometry. We're going to start with some reasoning and proof. This isn't going to be the first time we've kind of talked through some of this. When we did chapter 2, solving equations, I was giving you my reasons that for each step that I made. And that's exactly what we're doing when we're writing a proof. All right, so our key concept is that a proof is a logical deductive argument in which every statement of fact is supported by a reason. So, if you're like, well, when will we ever use these again? First off, geometry. Telling you, throughout geometry. But then, anyone who's planning on being a lawyer or having to do anything that uses deductive reasoning or arguing or where you have to put your statements in a logical order to prove something, whether that's selling something, whether that's trying to get your point across, that's the point of proofs. So where you may not be mathematically using proofs, the thought process behind proofs is why we teach proofs. So, our reasons can be properties. So these would be like those addition properties of equality, subtraction property of equality, multiplication property of equality, division property of equality. This could be the substitution property, the distributive property. Those can be reasons to prove a step can be made. We can use definitions. So any definitions that we have used, so like the definition of an acute angle, the definition of complementary angles, the definition of supplementary angles, those, midpoint. I don't know if you guys talked about that last year. Anyway, those definitions are things that can be reasons as to why we can make a statement. Postulates. Remember, these are those common sense postulates are the common sense rules. So like our angle addition postulate, where two angles add to make the bigger angle. Theorems. So we can use other theorems. So in our case, that can be our alternate interior angles theorem. That can be our corresponding angles theorem. Our converses, so the alternate interior angles converse or the corresponding angles converse, any of those theorems that we know. Pythagorean theorem, which we'll be getting to this chapter. So those will help us in our proofs. And the other thing is given facts. And in a proof, you can never assume. We never make assumptions. So it's just like when we're talking about right angles. If we don't have that box telling us it's a right angle or words telling us that it's a right angle or 90 degrees, then we cannot assume that the angle is a right angle just by the look of it. So those are things to just keep in mind. And then a theorem is a conjecture that is proven. So when we talk about those corresponding angles theorem, that's something that we can prove is true. Or the alternate interior angles theorem, again, something we can prove is true. Alright, so tips for writing proofs. Like, Mrs. Cartwright, when I'm writing a proof, what am I looking for? So the best way when you're writing a proof, the statement part is the easy part. That's where you're like, well, I know I can do this next. So the part that gets students is determining the reason. So to determine the reason, I'm a little stuffed up. To determine the reason, you want to look at the previous statement, and the current statement. And again, I'm looking at the previous statement. I'm asking myself, how did I go from the previous statement to the current statement? And then whatever property, theorem, definition, postulate that I used, that's my reason. Your statements can only be made from previous, based off information from previous statements. So each statement has to come from something that came before it. So each has to come from something. Well, not something, from some statement before. So it has to be based off of a statement we've already made. Now, when we're making our statements, each statement is based off the statement above it or a couple above it, depending on how we're looking at it. And then our reasons are just, why can I make that statement? Why can I say that 2x equals 4? And we're going to go into that. So let's get started on our first proof. So we're going to start with proofs that we were working with before, right? So we're going to make 2 columns. In your work, I want these 2 columns, statement, reason, and I want you to write it all out. On Math Excel, it's going to give you times where it's just asking you to fill in a blank. I don't just want the blanks. Write out your full statements. Write them on out. Don't be lazy. Alright, so we always start with what is given to us. So in this case, that is that 3 times the quantity x plus 5 equals 45. How do I know? It says given. This prove part is what we're trying, that's what we want to show in the end. So I'm not going to look at this until the end. So from here, on my reason on that one's given. That's the reason for most first steps. That is the reason. From here, I just got to ask myself, what's my next step? Well, it's to distribute. So 3x plus, and then 3 times 5 is going to be 15 equals 45. So I'm going to look at this step. I'm going to look at the next step. And the way I got from the first step to the second step is I distributed. So distributive property. We learned that in chapter 2. Now from here, I'm wanting to find, my whole thing is I'm wanting to find what x equals. So the next step to find what x equals is I'm going to subtract, this is a positive 15, so we're going to subtract 15 from both sides. And so then 3x will equal 30. So from here, and yes, I want to see this step. So the reason I can say that 3x equals 30 is because I subtracted equally to both sides, so that's our subtraction property of equality, otherwise known as SPOE, so that we can abbreviate. Or you can even say subtract from both sides, but it is going to be looking for the subtraction property of equality. Now to get x by itself, here 3 is times x, and the opposite of multiplication is division, and what I do to one side I have to do to the other side. So I divide both sides by 3 and I get that x equals 10. That's exactly what I was wanting, but the reason I know that x equals 10 is that I divided equally to both sides, so that would be the division property of equality. So our statements go from one to the next. The statements are not dependent upon these reasons over here. These reasons are the why as to why I can make that move. Alright, so in our next video, we'll do more on the geometric side of proofs. See you there.